My name is Allie Johnson. I'm a third grade elementary to thank you for taking the time out of your day to come and chat with me. For those of you who don't know, our guest here is Christine Lilly. She is 3-time Connecticut State Champion for Wilton High School, 4-time NCAA champion for the University of North Carolina, 2-time World Cup winner, 2-time Olympic gold medalist, world record holder for with 354 international appearances, the only player to win or to appear for the US in 4 different decades, only woman to appear in 5 World Cups, both the youngest and oldest player to ever score a goal for the USA, and much, much more. Welcome, Christine.
Thank you, Allie. Hello, Marvin Elementary School. How is everybody? Well, it's great to be here. And I mean, you did a great job, Allie, of highlighting all my wonderful things that I was a part of during my national team career with the U.S. soccer team. But who a great teacher was. And I think that's one thing we always look back at. I know all my teachers, and my 3rd grade teacher was Mrs. Gamby. And I went to,
that's awesome.
I went to school in Wilton, Connecticut, and my school was Comstock School. And I remember my 3rd grade teacher. So I'm sure, Allie, they're going to remember you for a long time.
Thank you. That's always the goal.
Yes.
So my 3rd grade teammate and I both are huge fans of yours.
Okay.
At your home opener for the '99 World Cup at Giant Stadium. And I went to your camp as a kid in Wilton. I have some of my memorabilia. I have
no way
World Cup shirt.
That's awesome.
I have my little signed Christine Lilly picture. And I have a picture of the 2 of us.
Oh, look at you. I mean, look at us, but look at you.
We look the same.
We totally do. Oh my God, that is awesome.
Oh, yeah. When I found out about this, I called my mom right away and I was like, where is all my Christine Lilly stuff?
Oh, that is so cool. Well, you know what's so neat about some of this? Like when I look back at pictures of myself with, younger you, and now I have 2 young girls now. So now I see them looking to these players on the US team now and looking in their eyes and lighting up and smiling. And I'm like, oh my gosh, maybe I did have an impact on some people, because now I see what these girls are looking to and how the impact they have. So that's
you made
really
a huge impact on my world as a young soccer player, and I'm sure for so many other young women around the world.
No, that's great. I really appreciate that.
You played in some big time games with some of the best players. What are some of your most memorable moments?
I think those questions I get about, what are my favorite parts of my career or the most memorable, and obviously the obvious ones are obviously win the World Cup in '99. We won in '91. We won the first Olympics ever for women's soccer in 1996. So those are huge. But I think when I look back on my career, I remember the people. I remember the locker room. I remember the laughing, the dancing in the locker room before the games. On road trips in the hotel rooms, just having my roommate on bus rides, traveling all around the world. So those are the kind of things that I look back now and I just am so grateful for. I mean, the fact that I went to China probably 10 to 12 times and probably didn't know where it was when I first started on the team. So it's just, I'm so grateful and blessed to have the opportunity to represent my country, but also travel the world with awesome, amazing women, not only soccer players, but amazing people. It was really something I'm really happy about.
Yeah, that's something that I remember most from all of my soccer days too, is just like the camaraderie with your teammates. So I noticed that you first got called up to the U.S. national team at the age of 16. What was that like to manage high school and training at such a high level?
Yeah, well, shoot, 16. I was a junior in high school. And I remember right before I got picked, I had to go to this regional camp. And I am a homebody. I don't like to sleep. I didn't like having sleepovers. I didn't like traveling. So I told my parents, I'm like, I don't want to go. Oh. And my parents were never pushed anything on my brother and I, and they just encouraged us to try different things. They're like, I think this is something that you should try. So I was like, fine. And I remember going on that trip and I was so homesick there, but then I made the next team that brought me to the place where I got chosen for the U.S. women's national team. And it was really kind of, I don't really put it, like the women's national team didn't exist. So I didn't see that like these, like you guys and girls watch these men's and women's team play. It wasn't on TV for me. So I didn't know it existed. This was in 1987. I was 16, and then the team just started in 1985. So it was just 2 years old, and they weren't really traveling.
Wow.
So it was all brand new. I had no clue what I was really becoming a part of. I mean, I
Yeah.
know like, oh yeah, I'm going to go play with this, the U.S. team and play some other countries. Great, but I
Right.
didn't really grasp what I was joining. And I remember when they asked me, they're like, we'd like you to join the team, and in like 2 weeks you have to go to China. And I was like, oh, okay. So I'm 16, and I'm like, can I call my parents, please?
Yeah. Oh,
Because I was like, I can't make this decision.
right, right. Oh,
So yeah, so that was the start of it, and I was a little bit nerve wracked, and
yeah.
we weren't really that busy, so I didn't really have to juggle too much schoolwork. But I
Mhm.
remember on one trip, I had a sociology class, and I was in China, and I remember my homework was like, okay, study, the elderly people and how they interact with the younger, like, oh, it was just all
Yeah.
that. And I remember writing my paper during that time. So the teachers were pretty flexible in helping me be able to
Yeah.
bring my work and then get it. That's the one thing that I learned through how to do my schoolwork. And
Mm,
that's something that happened all the way through college, where I got my
yeah.
diploma. I graduated high school and then college, and the school enabled me to do the soccer.
Yeah, yeah. And for you going to the University of North Carolina, what did it take for you to get there? Why did you choose UNC? How, how-
Well, going back to this homebody, homesick thing, I
right.
didn't want to go to college either, because I was like, I don't want to leave Wilton, all my
Yeah.
friends. But then again, my friends were all leaving, so I'm like, I guess I got to go.
Mhm.
But I was looking at a couple schools. I mean, and some schools were recruiting me, so I had that opportunity that not everyone gets, where some schools were coming to me and asking me to join them. And North
Mhm.
Carolina won, UConn was one,
Mhm.
Central Florida, Virginia, and I went to go visit a couple of North Carolina and so I found more comfort at North Carolina.
Mhm.
I also knew the coach. One of my teammates was going there as well, from the national team, Mia Hamm, which maybe some of
Mhm.
you guys know. So I already had a couple people I knew, and when I went on the recruiting trip, the school was beautiful, the education great, obviously, but just the feel of it made me feel like home a bit. So that
Mhm.
was really the clicker for me to choose North Carolina. Besides the fact that they were a rock star soccer team, winning all the time.
Right.
But the school was great, and then the feel of it was perfect for me.
Yeah, yeah. That's awesome. So in the middle of your time at UNC, you went to the 91 World Cup. That's
Yeah,
unreal in the middle of your college career to be going to the World Cup.
yeah.
So what was it like to play on the biggest stage with the best players in the world?
That was that 1991 to have the first World Cup ever for women's soccer was awesome, because like I said, I made it 87. So 4 years prior to that, that's when I made the team. And we
Mhm.
didn't really know what we would become a part of. There wasn't a World Cup yet, like this
Yeah.
World Cup we're talking about. There wasn't Olympics. So we were just playing. And then we heard that, oh, sweet, we're going to have a World Cup. So I was like, we're fired up. And I remember it was in October, which I went. So I was in my junior year in North Carolina.
Mhm.
And then I was bringing schoolwork to the World Cup. So go figure. I remember studying Julie Foudy. She was at Stanford at the time. And
Mhm.
I remember both of us were sitting by the pool in between our practice sessions, and we're just studying. And I'm like, what is going on? We're here playing in a World Cup. We're studying for our final is going to be probably when we get back.
Yeah.
So it was pretty crazy, but it was what you had to do. If I wanted to be able to stay in school and do that, then I had to make sure I did the work while I was gone, and not only the schoolwork, but then we won the World Cup. So it was win-win.
Yeah. Yeah. That's amazing. Um, how did teamwork play a role in your success?
Yeah. Well, I know some of you kids out there probably do team sports, and maybe some of you do individual sports. And I wasn't really that keen on just individual sports. I mean, I tried some tennis, but I liked the whole idea that I had teammates around me. So teamwork, teammates is one of the things I love the most about sports, because you're not alone. You're never alone. In the good times, you're celebrating with your buddies and your teammates. And the bad times, you're consoling each other and giving each other a high five and saying good job. So there's just so many elements that I love about that feel. Plus, you got to work together. And I think in life, everything we do, we have to find ways to work with others. And the other cool thing about a team is people are from all over the place. So I was from Connecticut, Mia was from Texas, Julie was from California. We had people from Michigan, and all different walks of life, different backgrounds, different religious beliefs, all different things. And to have a group come together with so many different backgrounds to play with the common goal to be the best in the world and to try to win was so awesome. And that's why I'm really grateful for the time I had on the team, because of that concept of working together, and bringing differences, and different personalities together, and then accomplishing a common goal was pretty amazing.
Yeah. Are you still close with the 99s?
We are. So the 99, we have this text chain that we're
Yeah.
always there. And we just had a bunch of birthdays come through. So someone's like, happy birthday. And everyone's like, oh, happy birthday. So we are close. And I think it's kind of a really, really cool thing, because I could reach out to any one of those players for something, and they'd be like, got you, and that's kind of a neat sisterhood to have.
Yeah. So as successful as you were, did you have any major setbacks, and how did you overcome those setbacks?
Yeah. Well, that's a good question, because I know shoot, in school was really hard for me. So I know when I would get a B on a test or even an A, I would be so excited, because sometimes my C's were just what would keep me going, and then I'd have to push a little harder to study
Yeah.
for get those A's. So I think school was something that I really had to work harder at. I'm not gonna say harder than soccer, but it didn't come as easy as soccer. So that was something I had to push through, especially when I was traveling so much in high school, and then in college when I would be with the national team and traveling. So that was one thing I really had to work through. The other thing I had to work through, which I've already spoken on, is my homesickness.
Mm-hmm.
I was on the road a lot, and I missed my family and friends. But the team became that family to me. So that made it a little bit easier to be on the road. And I did carry a stuffed animal around with me, a little tiger, for a while. So that
Oh,
helped. That helped a little bit too. Everyone needs a little friend around.
yeah.
And then overall, just I didn't have interest, but I said of competing at that highest level for so long. When we were with the team, we had to train great, but then when we weren't with the team, we really had to keep training. And back in that day, guys and girls, if you could believe it, there was no professional women's soccer. There was none of this that they have now in the NWSL for women. So I was training at my Wilton High School at our field house inside, kicking against the wall, practicing as much as I could on touches on the ball and finding places to play. So those are the things that was really tough, is finding a place to play, to be able to be played in and ready to join the team when I was asked back in for a camp or a training session.
Yeah. And so important for our kids to hear. I know I have a lot of my students who love to play soccer, and they'll go out with their friends or their family and just kick the ball around, not with a team or anything, but just hanging with their friends.
That's the best part. It's meeting buddies at the field and playing some pickup
Yeah.
soccer or wiffle ball, frisbee, whatever it is, tag, anything to get out there with some friends and have some
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah. Can you tell us a little bit about the importance of like doing your job, being coachable, how it helps you on the field and off the field as well?
Yeah, that's such a great question, Ali, because a lot of times, you want to be that Mia Hamm, you want to be Alex Morgan, you want to be LeBron James, you want to be the one that's in the limelight, that's getting the attention, scoring the baskets or the soccer goals. And that's not everyone's role. And, it's the nature of that to have one or two faces of the team that get a lot of attention, usually the goal scorers. But everybody has a role. And I'll give you an example of the importance of doing a role. It was part of what I did during games. So we had the World Cup in 1999. We hosted it in the United States. We were playing in the final against China. Sold out crowd of 90,000 people, crazy watching us. And China had a corner kick. And my job I was on the national team for 23 years, and my job has always been to be on the post. I'm 5'4". I know I probably look about 5'10" here, guys and girls, but I'm 5'4". So you didn't want me out in the box trying to head a ball, because I wouldn't have won it, because these girls are taller. So my job was on the post, and it always was there. And it was always the post where my left foot would kick the ball out. So if I'm the goal right now, it would be on this post, and the other post would be here, because my left foot would come and clear the ball. So the corner kick was coming from this side of me. So as the ball came in, it crossed over, and the Chinese girl headed on frame. It went by our goalkeeper, and then I pinched in a little bit, and then I headed the ball off the line. So I didn't win the game for us, but I kept us in the game. And if I didn't do my job, which it's not exciting, it's not elaborate, it's not really overly fun. I didn't mind it. If I wasn't doing it and staying focused on it, we could have lost the game. So there are so many moments on the field where someone was just doing their job to help that team be successful. May not get all the attention, it may not get all the endorsement deals, all this stuff for on ESPN, Sports Center, but it'll help your team be successful. And the other example I'll show you, we had one girl on our 1999 World Cup team, and there's probably maybe two that never got into 1 minute of a game.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't play 1 minute of the game. But she'd be the first one at practice, pushing us, cheering us on, giving us big bear hugs, like, are you ready? Yeah. Firing everybody up. And that helped us. So everything, I always talk to kids and to organizations, like everything you do matters, guys. Everything you do, every little thing you do, every time you pick up maybe a pencil for your friend that's sitting next to you, or, if you ask someone, hey, how's your day doing? It all matters. And that's what helps teams be successful. That's what helps your classroom be a funner place to be a part of.
That's awesome. Yeah, we always talk about how we are a family here at Marvin Elementary School, and you can see it when you walk in our building. You'll see if someone drops a pencil, you'll see 5 kids run to get them. So it's so important to have that family aspect here at school as well.
No, I think that's so great.
So now I have some questions from our Marvin students.
Oh boy, I can't wait, you guys. Bring it on.
Who taught you how to play soccer?
I love this question because I have an older brother. His name is Scott. He's 4 years older than me. And he claims he taught me everything. So I gave my brother props. He did. And I think the one thing I'll share that he did do for me, he let me play. So for you guys out there, I know some of you have older siblings, or you are an older sibling to someone. Let them tag along. I know it might not be so fun to have your little brother or sister around, but you're making such a difference for them. And my brother made such a difference for me when he let me go play soccer, football, baseball with him and his friends. So my brother was a big role model for me, and really helped me to feel like I could do anything. And then when I made the national team, all my teammates became my inspiration.
Who inspired you to play soccer?
Who inspired me to play soccer? Well, my brother. I'll have to go back to my brother on this one. And then also back in the time when I was growing up, there wasn't as many soccer players well known out there. And the one player that was well known was a guy named Pele. And he was from Brazil, and he was Brazil's best player. And he Cosmos in New York. And I remember going to games then, but Pele was probably the most predominant soccer figure. Could be still now. I mean, hopefully some of you young players know who Pele is. He's kind of like Ronaldo and Messi out there.
How old were you when you first started?
When I first started playing soccer, I was 6 years old. I was a kindergartner, and my team uniform was light blue. I remember that. And I forget our team name, but I love. But the greatest part was at the end of the game, halftime, oranges. Yeah. And then after the game, some fun treat. But the halftime oranges was why I loved soccer when I was younger. Yeah. And I used to see how many I could eat before the halftime. And then going to the game, I'm like, oh, I don't feel so good.
Yeah, you put them in your mouth and you smile with the orange.
Yeah, you put it like you're a boxer. You have like a mouthpiece on.
Right.
What soccer team did you play on as a kid?
Was association, so it was the town park and rec league for Wilton that I grew up playing, and that's what I did all the way through high school.
What's the main reason you like soccer?
Well, initially it was for those orange slices. Yeah. Why I loved soccer so much was those orange slices at halftime, and then it was just the team atmosphere, running around. Also, I was pretty good at it, so I think when you start to excel at something that you start to build the confidence, that's something you want to do. So soccer was that. And yeah, it's fun to score goals. It was fun to run around. It's a little tiring, but I think those aspects is what made me love it.
How much days a week did you practice?
Oh, shoot. Well, when I was your guys' age, I wasn't really practicing extra. Whatever the team had practice, but I was playing with my friends outside. I was playing other sports through all the way from kindergarten through high school. I played multiple sports. Softball and basketball and soccer were my high school three sports. And all through that, I played hardball growing up from second grade to eighth grade. Hey, and this, I thought what my goal was when I was younger, I thought I was going to play second base for the New York Yankees. That was my goal. Plus to be in the Olympics, but not for soccer. I thought I was going to be a gymnast. But I loved Willie Randolph. Willie Randolph was the second baseman for the Yankees back in the day. And I thought one day I'm going to do that. So that was really what my goal was.
What kept you motivated?
Well, I think my teammates, because the inspiration to have, and when you're on the national team and you're playing for the highest level you possibly can, you want to stay there. So my motivation was always to try to keep making that team each time they would pick a team for something. And I wanted to be part of the best team. I wanted to be the best I could be, but I wanted our team to be the best. So that goal was always there. And yes, we won the first World Cup in 91, but we lost. We came in third in 95, and then we won again in 99. So winning, it wasn't like, oh, I did that. I wanted to keep doing it over and over and over again because it was so fun. And because of the people I was playing with, it was just phenomenal women, playing the game, but phenomenal people as well.
Mm-hmm. Do headbutts hurt?
Do headbutts hurt? Well, like a real headbutt would hurt if someone was to do it to you. But so in soccer, we call it just heading. And when I'm teaching, I coach young kids right now, and you have to be close to 13 before you can start heading in the game because they're trying to protect kids. But in the same aspect, we also have to teach them how to head the ball correctly. And if you do head the ball correctly, it doesn't hurt. Maybe it does hurt sometimes, but for the most part, you hit it right here on your forehead, and you got to make sure you follow through. And what I teach all my young players, and even my older high school and above, how to protect yourself. So when you're playing soccer, you got to make sure you have your arms out, not doing any elbowing, but out here just protect. So when you're going up for a header, if someone comes in, they're going to hit your arm first and not hit your head, which can cause pain or possible concussions. So we just make sure we learn the proper technique of heading, and then make sure we do it right, and it should limit the pain at all. If you get hit in the head, that might hurt, but otherwise, you hitting the ball, not so bad.
Have you ever been injured?
Have I ever been injured? I have. Well, yeah. I mean, I rolled an ankle. I never broke a bone. I never tore my knee. I think I did get some little concussion here and there by just hitting another person's head on accident because I didn't protect myself properly. But overall, I didn't have any injuries. I have now that I'm getting up there in age, I feel like everything's an injury. But overall, it was pretty healthy.
How do you feel when you step on the field?
Stepping on the field, it's like, how do you guys feel is the question. Isn't it one of the greatest things just to step out on the field, know you can just go out and play? And I always would have little butterflies in my stomach. There was always some sort of nerves when I stepped out on the field. And I like to tell that to my kids now that I'm coaching, is like, it's okay. The fact that you have nerves means you care. And if you care about what you're doing, you're going to really work hard. And I think that's a thing we have to remember. The nerves are just there to remind you that you're getting ready to do something you love and that you got to work hard to do it. So once that whistle blows, you start running around, all the butterflies just fly away, and then it's just game time. But it feels incredible to step out on the field.
What did your family think about soccer, and what do they think now?
My family, mom, cousins, uncles, aunts, friends, everyone was really supportive of my career, and they helped me be able to accomplish what I did. I think I lived out of my dad's house till I was like 29 because I was on the road so much. I'm like, can I just come home for a couple of weeks and then go? So, there was just that stability that I had a place to go to and people to call when I was on the road. So they were really supportive. And I'd always know when they'd be at games. My brother would yell and I'd hear him. And my dad's nickname for me was Noodle. So he used to call me New. So he'd yell that. This is the time when there wasn't a lot of fans. I don't know if they could do it now. And I knew they were there. So they're really supportive. And I think that's what I love too. They didn't pressure me to do anything. After games, my dad would be like, how'd you miss that goal? I'm like, all right, yeah, I did miss that one. But super supportive. And then just really enjoyed, watching me play, which now I'm watching my play. concept now that I'm on the parent and watching my kids, because I like when you're in the game, you're like, oh, I can handle that. But now my
Right.
kids, I'm like, oh my gosh, can the whistle just blow?
You want to do it for them.
Yes.
Yeah.
What's the most memorable goal that you ever scored?
That's hard. I mean, not that I say that I scored a ton. I did score a lot of goals, but I remember my very first goal. That was in 1991, 1987. Sorry, my first trip to China. So that was it, my first trip, and I scored my goal. It was like a half volley, and then there was a World Cup in 2003 World Cup. We came in third place, but we were playing in the third place game against Canada, and a ball came bouncing out, and I totally just hit like a half volley, and the thing just goes zoop, and I was like, once I hit it, I was like, that's in the goal.
Yeah. It's a good feeling.
Yeah, so those two are pretty good ones for me.
Yeah.
What's your favorite game you played in?
Well, also when I was younger, I told you a little bit about playing baseball for the Yankees, but I did play hardball with the boys, and this is kind of off soccer a little bit, but I think that's good. We were playing, I was with the boys, I was probably 13, and we were playing against the other top Connecticut state team. So whoever won this game, I think went to the regionals and then to the Little League World Series, and that was my other dream. Oh, to play in Little League World Series. And I remember playing in this game, and we lost, sadly. But I just remember the game, and I remember I was supposed to, the ball came to throw someone out at second, like a steal, and it went through underneath my glove, and then the guy went to third. And the reason I bring that up, because I remember that, and it wasn't a success, but afterwards we all still went to McDonald's, I think, after, and we together as a team, we handled it. But I remember it was just such a special time. I just loved playing, and we didn't come out on top, but I just the opportunity that we were so close was cool.
Yeah.
And then what was it? What was the other part of it?
It was just, what was your favorite game that you ever played in?
Oh, so that was just like a moment I remember growing up. But I think favorite game, I remember my last game I played for the US, which we lost to, so not really favorite. But I would say the World Cup final 1999. It was pretty unbelievable, with a storybook ending, penalty kicks, and we win, and tons of people saw us play. So that was pretty good.
I remember that game like it was yesterday.
What was it like to play in the U.S. national team?
Oh, it was incredible. Playing for the United States national team was incredible. And I think every time I would put my jersey on, I was so honored. And just was like, I got to make it happen. You know, because not everyone gets the chance. Not everyone will play for your country and represent your country that way. So it was such a wonderful honor, and I worked for it though, and I worked real hard to do that, and worked real hard to stay on the team. So every time I put that jersey on, it never got old. It never got I never got complacent with it. I always felt this special feeling getting ready for games and going, because I wasn't only playing for myself, I was representing my team, my my hometown of Wilson, my family, and my country, and that's a really cool feeling.
How does it feel to win the World Cup?
So when I used to talk about, like, after I won the Olympics and the World Cup, I used to go to schools. Unfortunately, I'm not there with you guys, but I'm here right now. And people would ask, like, how does it feel? And I used to say, especially when I was in the Northeast talking to everyone, I said, hey, do you guys know what it feels like to get a call in the morning that you don't have school because of snow? Multiply that by like 10, and that's how it felt for the world. You know, when you don't have to go to school because you look outside, like, yes, no school. That's what winning the World Cup was like, but like 10 times over. It was just unbelievable, because you're the best in the world. I mean, that's just something really cool to be part of.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And not once, but twice.
But twice. And it's like, it doesn't get old. It was still incredible the second time.
Yeah.
Do you know Alex Morgan?
Do I know Alex? I do know Alex Morgan. Yes, Alex and I crossed paths on the national team together. I was at my last couple. When she came on the team, it was really like my last little bit on the national team. So we overlapped a little bit, and then she got my number, so that's kind of cool. And she doing a great job.
Where did you play your first international match?
My first game was in China. So when I was 16 years old, all the way in, I think it was in Guangzhou, China, all the way around the world, guys. Like I said, I was like, I don't know where it is. And I'll tell you a real quick funny story. When I went to China, I brought with me a bunch of stamps because I was like, oh, I'm going to send postcards. But when you're in China, you can't use US stamps. So I was like, So I had to I brought the stamps home and I used the Chinese stamps to send it.
That's funny.
Yeah.
When you started that, I wasn't even thinking that.
Yeah, I was like, me neither.
How does it feel to be in the U.S. Soccer Hall of Fame?
Well, that's really cool. To be in the Hall of Fame is really cool because not everyone gets in there as well. And it really is just that paid off. And you know, I'm up here a lot telling these stories to you guys and, you know, making it sound like, oh, it's so this and great and maybe making it sound easy. None of this was easy. You got to work hard. You got to work extremely hard. And it's not necessarily working a lot. It's just working hard in the time you're doing. So even like when you're at school, you're only there for a part of the day. Work hard. Get this stuff done. See how well you can, how good you can be. And then in the same aspect is making the other teammates and friends around you better. So when I looked that I got into the Hall of Fame, I was just so appreciative because I know my teammates helped me get that honor, and my family and my work ethic. So I was really honored to be in the Hall of Fame.
Do your girls play soccer, and do you help other girls to play?
Well, my two daughters do play. They are going to be 13 and 10 this year, and they do play, and I do coach them. They also do other sports too, gymnastics and basketball and lacrosse and softball now. So I do coach them, and then I also coach other girls as well, and other boys and girls. I do a camp every year in my hometown of Wilton, Connecticut. I've been doing it for almost 30 years now. Holy cow! So I love teaching kids the game.
Okay. Why do you think playing soccer makes women so powerful?
Well, I think it's in the women and girls that are playing. I think soccer just lets it come out. And I think no matter what you choose to do out there, if you guys aren't soccer players out there, if you're other sports or a musical instrument or dance or anything, you're going to build your strength and your confidence and your power through what you love. So like I talked about just before, work hard. That hard work is going to make you feel better, and it's going to make you feel powerful and strong and confident and feel like you can conquer anything. Like standing in front of your class and reading something you have to read for your work, or giving a little talk, or doing the morning announcements. I'm not sure if you guys do that, but could be a nerve-wracking thing. But all this stuff, the more you do something and the more you repeat and do it over and over again, builds the confidence. And then if you're surrounded by people that believe in you, which your family and friends and your teachers do, then that makes it even better. So it's just, I don't think the soccer does it. I think you do it as a person with your surroundings and the sport and activity you're doing helps you build that strength and power and confidence.
Yeah.
How many trophies do you have, and which one was your favorite?
So show and tell. I wish I could have you guys hold these. So this is my medal from the 96 Olympics, the first Olympics I was a part of. Right there, 96. That's the gold medal. It's really cool and really
that is
big.
So cool.
That's the back of it. So we played China in the final of this, and we won 2-1 to win that 96. And then I'm a little bit worried because I don't know where my other one is. It's really serious.
Can't lose
that. This one, my silver 2000. Now this was a heartbreaker because this was in Australia and we lost in the final, but it's probably one of the prettier ones, is what I like to say.
Yeah.
And that's a silver medal that we won in Australia in Sydney Olympics. And so I don't know, I forgot my other one. It's in the drawer somewhere. But I have another gold, which I won in 2004 in Greece, which was also special. So I'm really, really proud. Although first and second, super proud of both of them. So no matter where you end up and what you do, I always tell my kids you're in a better place. because you worked hard to get there. So
Yeah.
really fun.
Do you have those like hanging up somewhere in your house or?
No, I keep them in my drawer. And I think and so, because it's that fine line of
Yeah.
having them out, like, hey, you want to see my gold medals? Or
Right,
waiting for people to ask, like, oh, you want? I'm like, oh yeah, sure, I'll show you.
Yeah. They're all in one spot.
But they're all together. So
Yeah.
really, really cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
What a pleasure it was to talk with you today. Thank you so much for spending your day here with us at Marvin. We greatly enjoyed hearing the stories from your amazing career. Your hard work and dedication is an inspiration to all of us, especially me, since I was a kid.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Marvin Elementary. I'm so happy I got to spend some time with you guys today. Maybe another time we'll be able to come in person and be able to see you guys. And one of my favorite things is a high five. And I know we're going to get there with all that. To let you know, I support you guys and believe in you all. And I know you guys are going to finish up the rest of the school year doing great and have a great summer. And thank you for letting me be part of your school today.
Thank you.